Welcome to This Explainer. Have you ever noticed how sometimes right before someone achieves something truly monumental, they just vanish? I'm talking about a complete disappearance from the public eye. No social media updates, no appearances at parties, just total radio silence in their friend circles. Now, from the outside looking in, it can kind of look like they've given up, right? Or maybe that they're failing. But today, we're going to look at the exact opposite reality. We are completely decoding the power of disappearing and uncovering why strategically isolating yourself might just be the absolute most potent strategy you can deploy. So, why is it that the absolute top-tier folks suddenly drop off the face of the earth? When we see this happen, our immediate instinct is usually to assume something is wrong. We think, oh, they've lost their edge. But the reality is that this sudden vanishing act is a highly deliberate, calculated strategy. They aren't failing at all. In fact, they are quietly orchestrating their next massive leap forward. All right, let's dive into this. What they are actually doing behind the scenes is executing a rigorous psychological protocol known as monk mode. And no, this isn't just taking a long weekend off to binge watch a show and order takeout. It's a profound intentional withdrawal from society. Think of monk mode as the ultimate, albeit super intense, shortcut to massive success. It's a period where you literally shut out the noise of the world to focus entirely on your own growth and output. It's a strategic retreat, and it's designed to yield explosive results. Now, there is a stark dichotomy here between the masses and the elite. On one side, we've got average people. The source material points out that average people absolutely dread isolation. They practically require a constant stream of attention, validation, and just noise, just to feel alive. They're highly socially dependent. But look at the top 1%. The elite treat isolation entirely differently because they actually have the discipline to do so. To them, isolation isn't a punishment. It's a sacred laboratory. It's this dedicated, quiet space where they can experiment, build, and grow, completely free from the distracting static of everyone else's opinions. So how do we actually define this? Monk mode is deliberately disappearing, to cut off all external dependencies and build a frankly terrifying level of hyperfocus. Consider this wild fact. Research shows it takes an average of 23 minutes to regain deep focus after just one single distraction. Now imagine eliminating those distractions entirely. That is the clinical mechanism of this protocol. By removing yourself from the social chessboard, you eliminate all that shallow networking that just eats up your day. You stop wasting your energy constantly explaining your goals to people who probably don't even understand them anyway. Instead of talking about what you're going to do, you isolate yourself so you can actually go do it. Look, this isn't some overnight life hack. Executing this protocol is typically a grueling 3 to 6 month process. Picture someone stepping into this journey. In month 1, their primary objective is to sever those external dependencies. Deleting the apps, turning down the happy hours, just letting texts go unanswered. And yeah, it feels jarring at first. But by month 3, they've completely killed the habit of shallow networking and that urge to justify their ambitions to everybody else. The silence actually becomes comfortable. And by month 6, they've achieved a flow state where their energy is seamlessly redirected entirely into their craft. They have effectively locked the door to the outside world. This entire process requires absolute, uncompromising redirection, 100%. Think about the stark contrast here for a second. While everyone else is busy broadcasting their average, everyday lives for a fleeting dopamine hit of a few internet likes, you are completely offline. You are channeling every single ounce of your cognitive and physical energy into your own development. So what exactly are you doing with all that newly freed up energy? You're operating in what the protocol calls the dark room, completely away from public eyes. And inside that dark room, you are executing specific, grueling tasks of self-improvement. You're fixing your finances, you're transforming your physical body, you're mastering your mind. It's a complete, holistic teardown and rebuild of who you are. There are absolutely no distractions, no applause, and no one to impress. Just the quiet, heavy lifting of personal evolution. This brings us to the core philosophy of the entire process, and it's honestly my favorite part. Monk mode is not about being lonely. It is about becoming dangerous. What a powerful reframing of isolation. When most people are alone, they just feel lonely. But when you are executing this protocol, you aren't lonely. You are forging yourself into a highly capable weapon of success. You are sharpening your skills in the dark so that when you finally step back into the light, you are a completely different force to be reckoned with. Which leads us to the true cinematic payoff of the protocol, the return. Step 1, you finally reappear, but not as the same person who vanished. You return as a fundamentally transformed version of yourself, completely unrecognizable from the person you left behind.
Step 2, you don't come back empty-handed. You return with an empire you built in the silence. And step 3, the absolute pinnacle of this journey. You produce results so loud that you never even have to speak a word. Your success literally does all the talking for you. You no longer need to explain your goals because the undeniable evidence of your hyperfocus is standing right there for everyone to see.
Success so often requires subtraction, not addition. To reach that top 1%, you have to be willing to do what average people dread. You must silence your circle, block the noise, and go into the dark room to rebuild. So, my final question to you is this. Are you brave enough to stop broadcasting your journey, disappear in silence, and do what it actually takes to return with undeniable power? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.